Good day, everyone. This is Group 2 presenting, and now we are going to focus on the topic the natural, language, and formal terminologies. So, right now, we are going to explore its subtopics, specifically on its role as a matchmaker of clinical text with concepts and terms. And these ideas include named identity, world level text processing, analysis of syntactic structures, domain knowledge, and natural language processing, which are some things that we are going to dig deeper into as we go through this presentation. Aside from that, we are also going to run through a related article in regards with the development of the International Classification of Diseases, or ICD 11th edition. So without further ado, let us proceed with the discussion. Before we dig deeper, let's address a general thought on this topic. We have mentioned natural language processing, but what does it mean? And what is its role in a medical setting? There is a need to use different terms and clinical terminologies in data handling in order to provide a standard reference of the meanings of the words. Natural language processing develops methods and algorithms to allow a computer to take human language and convert it into equivalent computer interpretable data, which makes it easier for the users to navigate, collect, and manipulate data. So let's proceed with the first concept, which is the named entity recognition. This process associates words or phrases with concepts and assigning predefined labels to a text. This can take place in a number of steps. Each step preparing or interpreting a text in some way and feeding it to the next stage of text processing if more analysis is needed. The next one would be the world level text processing, which is a process of analyzing individual words independent or linguistic structure or meaning. This comes with two steps, namely stripping and tokenization. Stripping gets rid of text elements that are not of interest to the current task, such as the words the and which are known to be stop words. Errors may occur when words such as vitamin A is compromised. The next step is known as tokenization, or also known as morphological analysis, which takes a bag of words and converts them all into their lemma or canonical form. This includes three types. The first one known as stemming, which converts different variants of a word into their common stem. Example are the words programming, programmer, and programs, which are all reduced to program. The next step would be lemmatization, which is a more comprehensive approach than stemming, as it uses complex methods. Examples are the words go, gone, and went, which are all labeled as to go. And the last type would be regular expression, which is the most common approach, as it describes the rules that dictate how a string of symbols can be legally decomposed into different parts, logically. Despite their simplicity, simple bag of word methods have many uses, especially on approaches where the number of potential labels for text is relatively small, and the reports themselves tend to use a small core set of words and phrases to describe events. To be knowledgeable about the rest of the subtopics, continue listening as the succeeding reporters present them.
Analysis of syntactic structures can provide additional clues to the meaning of text. Processing at a single word level is often insufficient to understand fully the concepts described in a text. Here are the following challenges in text understanding at a single word level. Reference solution. When there are separate mentions of a concept in a text, we need to decide whether they all refer to the same concept or not. For example, if a record mentions an allergic reaction to penicillin in several different sections, are they all references to the same event or to multiple events? Next is we have word sense disambiguation. It is in the nature of natural language to have ambiguity of meaning at a word level that requires additional information to resolve. For example, the word lobe. This may refer to a lot of different anatomical concepts in our body. Next, we have biological entities. Named entity recognition for biomedical concepts such as gene names is a continuing challenge. For example, CAT or cat. This may refer to a different biological entity or protein, genes, or different kind of species. Lastly, we have negation. Determining whether a text implies the concept or its negation is difficult and cannot always rely on the presence of the word not. For example, there is little hope that it is not cancer. Involves a double negation that best maps to cancer. Many concepts require more than one lemma to describe them, and words are words that are commonly associated with each other. The next strategy is to cease to see a text as an unrelated bag of words, but to recognize that words appear in certain places in a specific order. Positional information is often sufficient to assist with the disambiguation task. For example, when trying to extract the meaning of a paper describing a randomized clinical trial, we can resort to the structured nature of the paper abstract to assist us. Here, this helps us look for certain information by knowing where this specific information belongs to or can be found in the paper. Next is we have the grammatical structure. Context-free grammars have great historical importance in the development of natural language processing. Next is we have the probabilistic grammars, models the way different POS can assemble as a flexible statistical process rather than as a rigid grammatical process. So here, parsing is a process where we use grammars to interpret a text. It takes a sequence of words and tries to assign them to different roles in a grammar. Words that would otherwise be ambiguous can be clarified by a POS assignment. For example, the word left has different meanings depending on which POS it is assigned to.
So now let's talk about domain knowledge. So this may provide additional clues to interpret the meaning of otherwise ambiguous texts. So the meaning of words may still be difficult to resolve using structural and grammatical clues, and in such cases, human relies on their understanding of the domain and the world to guess a specific meaning of a text. So as we saw in previous chapters, classification systems are sometimes associated with ontology or conceptual model of the domain. Thus, a multi-axial classification system would implicitly model ontology through its many different axes. So, an axis of anatomical structural relationship would, by definition, show how different terms can come together to mean something plausible in anatomical terms. So many domains develop and maintain specific ontologies to help describe all the concepts likely to be encountered in the domain and their possible relationship with each other. So just as we use grammar to help understand which POS different words occupy in a phrase or sentence, we can use an ontology to help resolve the likely semantic role different words play. Thus, in an anatomical hierarchy, we would have a list of legal modifiers of anatomical structures, names, and could discover that left is a legal modifier that indicates the laterality of structure. The phrase he left home would clearly not match this hierarchy because home is not a human anatomical structure, whereas the left kidney would.
Hello, so I'll be talking about natural language processing finds its application in a wide variety of information processing tasks. So, text processing and natural language understanding methods have broad applications, such as information retrieval, text mining, text summarization, text generation, and question answering. So for information retrieval, keyword searching is typically enhanced through the use of natural language processing methods such as tokenization and lemmatization. When a search for heart is entered into a search engine, it makes sense that related words such as cardiac are also searched for, and a good search engine performs a query expansion to include all the obvious synonyms and lexical variants associated with the keyword a user has provided. And next is the text mining. It is the data captured in clinical text when aggregated may be able to reveal previously unknown patterns and relationships. For example, according to Tato Nite et al. 2012, adverse event reports or medical records can be mined to detect unreported drug interaction, as well as track the clinical outcomes associated with different therapies. So there is great value, for example, in mining research papers in journal or in text such as clinical guidelines. Sometimes the literature on a given topic is so large and is changing so rapidly that it becomes too difficult to track all that is being recorded by hand. Next is text summarization. There are a number of tasks for which the contents of multiple texts need to be understood and their contents compressed in some way into a summary. Clinical letters, handover reports, and discharge summaries are all task specific summaries of a patient's current state and require some knowledge of the domain and patient to be done well. So, automated methods for text summarizations include the use of text extracts, in which the summarizer simply identify important phrases and sentences and collects them together, and text abstracts, which are a re-expression of information into a true summary. Text generation. Once a set of concept is represented internally in a computer, perhaps as a set of concepts and terms, it should be possible to translate these into sentences understandable by humans. So this could be used to automate the production of laboratory reports, clinical letters, or discharge summaries. Lastly, the question answering. Instead of asking a search engine to find all the documents relevant to a keyword, we may ask it a precise question and expect a direct answer. This challenging task requires the natural language processing system first to understand the exact meaning of the question asked and then perhaps to search across multiple source texts or a knowledge base to generate the answer, possibly by using text summarization and general methods. And with that, in conclusion, terminological systems remain for now the primary tool for interpreting clinical language for a wide variety of administrative and clinical tasks. Modern statistical approaches to modeling and interpreting clinical texts are able to use such terminological resources to assist in their tasks. It is also possible, however, to build large-scale statistical models of language independently of human-maintained terminologies. Given the scale and cost associated with building and maintaining terminological systems, it is likely that with time, hand-built terminologies will be seen as a transitional technology and that we will move to more automated construction and maintenance of language models. So that's it for my part. Thank you so much.
The International Classification of Diseases, or ICD, which was developed by the World Health Organization, or WHO, plays a crucial role in governments reporting, grouping, and statistical analysis of diseases and other health-related factors. The ICD also covers various signs, symptoms, abnormal findings, complaints, and social factors suitable for studies on financial aspects such as billing or resource allocation, and provides a basis for big data in personalized healthcare. ICD standards have been used in medicine and healthcare for over 100 years. At present, the most widely used version of the ICD is its 10th revision, or also known as ICD-10, which was endorsed by the 43rd World Health Assembly in 1990. The development of new ICD standards is expected to revolutionize global medical informatics within the next few decades. However, the increasing use of ICD-11 in medical and health big data reduces the applicability and relevance of past analytical methods because the ICD-11 features new code schemes and concepts that differ from previous ICDs, such as STEM codes representing entities or groupings of high relevance or clinical conditions that should always be described as a single category. In contrast to ICD-10, ICD-11 is established on the basis of ontology models.
The data sources and search strings are first determined. Time trend analysis is then performed based on the selected papers.
So hi guys, this is Lorgie, and for this part of the slide, we're going to be talking and we're going to be discussing about the materials and method used within the research. So as you can see, it illustrates that the flowchart of this bibliometric analysis of the ICD-related research. There are 4 steps in which the researcher has maintained this. First, they determine the relevant keywords and conduct search strategy to retrieve ICD-related research. Secondly, the Web of Science database is used to retrieve relevant publications. Third, the time trend analysis of ICD-related papers is performed, and lastly, the analysis results are visualized to form 3 perspectives. So, the materials used are firstly data sources, in which information science and library science and other popular research field that may focus on the development of the ICD standards. Secondly, we have the time trend analysis, in which medical information as well as big data, knowledge discovery are to be extracted. Third, we have the keyword analysis. This is the 3 perspective of the ICD-related research and are examined through overlay visualization of the publication. Next, we have topic analysis, in which the topic of the ICD-related research is to promote healthcare as follows. So first, under topic analysis, we have information system perspective. Second, big data perspective. Third, knowledge discovery perspective. After topic analysis, we have then tools for visualization, in which during the network of visualization using VOS viewer, items are represented by their label, by a default, and by a circle as well. So during the timeline of visualization using site space, time is mapped into a horizontal position and clusters are arranged along the horizontal line.
So right now, let's talk about the important findings of this research. So basically, its results. So let's start with the trends of ICD-related research. So in figure 3, this shows the changes in numbers of publications by publication year using different searching strategies, namely searching titles of publications containing the keyword ICD-9, ICD-10, and ICD-11, and also searching for publication topics containing the string ICD-9, 10, and 11. So in figure 3a, this indicates that the number of ICD-11 related papers in 2017 exceeds that of ICD-10 related papers in an analysis by searching titles of publications. The number of publications related to ICD-10 gradually increased over the period of 1989 and 2018 and peaked at approximately 160 publications in 2014 and then rapidly decreased to 87 in 2019. So, however, the number of ICD-9 related research each year remains stable between 20 and 30. So, for figure B, this indicates that the number of publications related to ICD-9, 10, and 11 approximately increase over each publication year in an analysis by searching topics of publications. Overall, research topics on ICD-11 and in turn the number of relevant publications began to show an upward trend on 2006. So on figure 5, this illustrates the trend of the number of publications related to the 3 perspectives discussed earlier. So results indicate that over the last 30 years, ICD has been more extensively used in information systems than in big data and knowledge discovery. So let's proceed with the distribution of keywords. So in the distribution of keywords in this bibliometric analysis is summarized in table 2. So the total link strength, or TLS, attribute in the table indicates the number of links of an item with other items and the total strength of the links of an item with other items, respectively. So the tabular results show the top 10 keywords involved in the 3 perspective according to our analysis using VOS viewer. Network visualization of the keywords in different perspective also follows.
Hello guys, we'll be discussing about the discussion part of our presentation. So the article Bibliometric Analysis of the Development of ICD-11 in Medical Informatics is a bibliometric analysis research study that was published from 1989 to 2018 to examine the development of ICD related research and its trends. In comparison to ICD-9 and ICD-10 studies, ICD-11 related research has risen quickly in recent years. According to a temporal trend, the popular ICD-11 research directions include psychiatry, psychology, information science, library science, and behavioral science. Also noted in the article is that the release of the ICD-11 affects the future implementation of other standards in the medical field. Hence, that is why ICD was initially established to provide mortality and morbidity statistics. An example to that would be that ICD is the most important reference for categorizing disease-related groups and disease-based payment in a hospital. Through this and the development of the ICD, specifically in ICD-11, is that it provides considerable insights into the potential value of big data in healthcare. So according to the current analysis, the ICD has been proven to be the most important component of healthcare information systems for clinical research and medical monitoring and also public health management on a global scale. Though it doesn't mean it has no limitations, and here are the three main limitations of this study. So firstly, we have one of the most repeatable indexing databases for articles, which is Web of Science. Provided the majority of the publication data used in this study, the ICD is utilized on a global scale for many diverse purposes, and the results are not always released as scientific data. And although a number of additional pertinent studies are discussed, this study may not have taken all relevant outside work into account. Secondly, instead of retrieving the article's core text for analysis, keyword and topic analysis, it is focused on the publication's metadata. And lastly, instead of considering clinical views, the researchers concentrated on studies relating to medical informatics, which is a complete evaluation of such medical research may be required to further assess the conclusions in the major components. So the three viewpoints that serve as the foundation for the analysis were chosen arbitrarily. But however, ICD-11 may in the future offer additional implicit applications for medical informatics. So next, the thing that I'm going to be discussing would be the conclusion. So ICD-11 related studies have advanced quickly recently, and according to the analysis's findings, the medical informatics is being transformed by additional ICD-11 based research developments. The findings also imply that in order to address the issues with earlier ICD-11 implementations in medical informatics, stakeholders should be informed about the potential use of ICD-11 in the future. And to complete the switch from ICD-10 to ICD-11, a significant amount of time and money must be spent on hiring personnel in the fields of administration, information technology, and medical research.
And that's pretty much everything for our report. Thank you for listening and have a good day. Goodbye.